Brian said last year, we survived it. And I am very happy about that. I've always understood that any success that I enjoyed as a president of a Rotary Club was simply because of the wonderful Rotary Club that I have to work with. I never had any illusions about being able to carry the club anywhere. It's more like the club is carrying me. But as I discovered at last year's district conference, when a young lady who was in her year as club president was asked what was her biggest fear at the beginning of the year, and it was that she might kill the club. That may sound silly, but that was one of my biggest fears. I really worried about what damage I might be able to do to this club. And I thank you all for rising above any problems that I might have had, because anyway, we did survive. This past year, the Rotary International President was John Durham, and it was a delight to see him in Atlanta. And it's not like I got to shake his hand, but he was there. Our district governor, Chris Runyon, I'll always remember who my district governor was, because you form a really close relationship with that person. And next year's governor is Dick Ray, and I think he is just a really fun person and someone that we're all going to love getting to know, and Carl is going to have a great relationship with him. And we have to look forward to our own district governor coming from this club in just about a year. So, George, thank you for putting us on the map for the second time.
Let's just hope that it's on the map, in a good way. We're not. It's nervous. I mean, you see, like, on Monday they're going to have that changeover, and we're going to hand that flag off to the next person, and I'm going to be bringing home the governor-elect banner, and it's coming.
And you can't do the district; it's too good.
Well, we appreciate you not screwing our club up, Barbara. We really hope George is a sweet and
I had some long-range goals that I identified last year. Wanted to find a permanent meeting location, and we have found a good meeting location, and I hope it turns out to be permanent. We intend to become a 501c3 organization, and while we don't have that accomplished yet, we do have the application ready to go. We've worked on it for a year, and it's in good shape. And as soon as we get that application approved, we will move forward with separating our banking operations into operations and services. So we're looking forward to that. I had an annual fund goal of $6,000, and we managed to raise $8,721 for foundations. Yeah, it's a good amount of money. I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud that we have met our Polio Plus goal. Just exceeded it by a few dollars, but we made it, and it was a big goal, so I'm glad we made that. We had a membership goal of 38 members, and we are at 37. And I don't want to brag about 37 because Steve Peterson is not going to renew his membership, so we will be down to 36 at the beginning of fall. So that's an area where we're really going to have to. Anyway, this is where we started out the year last year at the Public Safety Building, which was a perfect meeting location in every way except for its seating arrangement. And that was just difficult to deal with. We missed being conversational. And this is where we are now at the Front Royal Golf Club. And I tell you, every morning before this meeting starts, and I'm sitting here pretty much alone, but the buzz in the room is just really very nice. Last year, one of the first issues we had to deal with was the West Virginia floods. And because June and Herb were about to make a trip to West Virginia, we were able to put together a donation of money from the club and money from the members and truckloads of supplies, and June and Herb took it off to West Virginia, where it was gratefully received. The other big project that we worked on a lot last year was the Phoenix project. They were one of our gala recipients. We put in the labor and money and a $2,500 district grant to give them new lights, new floors, painted the walls and ceiling, and furnished a children's room. And it's really a joy to walk into that building, and they're also pleased to see members of our Rotary Club come in the door. The other gala recipient for us was Blue Ridge Opportunities, and they wanted 2 high-speed spreaders. We weren't sure for a while if we'd be able to give them 2, but we were very pleased that we were able to. And we had enough money to give them a check that allowed them to replace the garage door in their greenhouse that was leaking air and causing problems for them. So that was a successful venture. And grants that we accomplished last year, the Phoenix Project grant, the Area 1 Collaborative grant for substance abuse, we contributed $500 to that. We also contributed money to the Gama Water Project and the Socha Columbia Project, which created a community peace center, child education program, and a child nutrition program. International service, we always support Project 3, and we did again last year. And the Library and Orphan Education Project is another international project which has become an annual project. And the Caribbean Project, we supported their dental clinic to the tune of $1,000. And each year we participate in Rise Against Hunger. That's another Area 1 project. Local projects included the Red Cross Blood Drive, Salvation Army Bell Ringing, United Way Day of Caring, the Holiday Heating Donation, which we do every year, the Christmas Stocking Project, and Roadside Cleanup, which we are attempting to get started on a regular basis. We also do Tuesday's Table, one of the funnest things we do. One of the things I'm most proud of is that we were able to make a number of contributions in the community to organizations that hadn't necessarily asked for money, but that we deemed as being worthy. And here's that list. It's a long list, and I'm very proud that we were able to share some money with some worthy folks. Our golf tournament brought in a decent amount of change, not quite as good as last year. It was a rainy, cold day, so we don't have a lot of really good pictures, and the pictures that you see there don't necessarily look like a golf tournament because we're all bundled up, but that's what we were given. Our gala, An Evening in Paradise, was, as always, a really fun event that we enjoy every year. It's a social event as well as a fundraiser. And other fundraising included our upscale resale, which did very well. And we had 2 yard sales this year. We had one in October and another in June, and they were both at Jean's house. And I think they did so well because we did them for 2 days rather than 1. Socials, we had a summer social, and we had a Christmas party that we shared with the Front Royal Club. I think that's a wonderful opportunity for us to do some sharing of activities and fun was had. And another social activity that started out as birthday girls seems to be evolving. It started out as being some Rotarians who had the day off and weren't working, had time, and friends, not necessarily Rotarians, but it has sort of evolved to the point where it's women in Rotary and their spouses, but they do it separately. So we'll see how that goes in the future. We support 2 Interact clubs, the Randolph-Macon Middle School and the Skyline High School, and we're all set for next year with both of those. And we should be adding the Warren County Middle School to that roster next year. I don't know who the faculty advisor for that group will be yet, but hopefully we'll find out soon. And middle school RILA. We've done them for the last 2 years. Hope we can continue this activity. It's wonderful to bring middle schoolers together for some activity and some leadership training and see what wonderful kids they are. We gave out 3 scholarships, and Colleen Tran and Sarah Chichester have been to our club meeting and given us a little bit of a chance to see, to hear what their plans are and see what kind of people they are. And Olivia Ondo is the 3rd recipient. She'll be at our meeting on July 19th. And we had Matthias this year. And he was a joy. I am so glad that he really blossomed before he reached the end of his time with us. And June, I just loved it when you danced. That was so fantastic.
He is having a marvelous time out west.
Cooking.
I know quite a few people have, cooking. Quite a few people received texts and pictures from him, and it's that was great.
Oh, that's wonderful. And district conference, it was a blast. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of our writers who wrote the awards grant applications, and the people who did the service that made those awards applications so good. It was a real pleasure to bring home all of those patches. And we ended the year by going to Atlanta. And I don't have pictures from the crowd scenes. I really wanted a good picture of that. But I was thrilled by the fact that they put the rotary wheel in the middle of their big Ferris wheel. And I couldn't get everyone was trying to get good pictures of that. And it was hard to do. Sandy Maiden took this picture. There's another thing that was really great about the district conference. Sandy and Ron were there as volunteers, and they were there early. So one of the first people that we bumped into there were Sandy and Ron. And again, thank you to you all. Been a marvelous club, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. And now I'm going to do some awards. I will say that the big award, the Rotarian of the Year, due to unforeseen circumstances, is going to have to wait until next week to be presented, but I do have some other things. And first of all, I would like to recognize our club members who have perfect attendance for the past year. If you would just stand. Melanie Barber, Brian Barbour, Barbara Ecton, Hank Ecton, Rod Grimm, Debbie Grove, Melanie Hamel, Carol Hardy, Dave Hardy, Chad Burbeck, George Carnes, Kathy Napier, Kristen Pence, Bill Scholler, Linda Taylor, and Michael Williams. Thank you. Okay. Dave Lavelle, would you please come
See what you get for hiding the joke all these times? How much she gets a free car wash?
We have service of all Sev cats. And you deserve one because of all of the 50/50 stuff you do every week, and you help us set up the rooms, and you do so much for this club. Thank you. And Tom. Well, you totally deserve it. You have done a fantastic job keeping us organized on our programs, and you are our public relations chair. And let me tell you, you've talked to me about interacting. You've given me some good advice. Thank you. Mary Jo Cochran? Mary Jo. Not here. Brittany Cook? Hank Etman? Let me take your picture, Hank. And you've done a fantastic job with the newsletter and helping hold me together. Debbie Grove? Can I say, every year you take on some project, and this year it was Tuesday's Table, and you also helped us out with our breakfast program, and you make cakes for people, and give the money to us, and thank you. I don't believe Melanie Hamel is here either. Carol Hardy is. I think you probably knew what you were getting into when you said yes to the service committee.
No, and I didn't say yes for some reason, but anyway.
But because you were a good Rotarian and because you know what's important. But not only did you do service committee, but you did everything else too. So thank you. Dave Hardy? Mr. Club Administration, what would we do without you? You keep us on track, and we really appreciate it. And you headed up the Phoenix project too. That was huge. And some of it was done all on your own. I understand. So thanks.
Okay.
George Carnes.
I don't know that I did anything.
Oh, didn't you? I believe you were a host to an exchange student, and, I mean, you do all of the other things for the
I
club.
should give the club a hat for that. That's,
So anyway. Thank you. Gail McGillis? You don't know how to say no. That's one of the things I love most about you. And thank you for all you do for the club, for your membership, chairmanship, everything else. Thank you. Happy Napier.
Would it fit in right?
Mike Noble is not with us. Jean Fogger. Like I said, 2 yard sales in 1 year, and both at her house, plus you did all of the fundraising planning and implementation.
Upscale reset.
Yes, I know. Chris Ramsey.
That's how I felt, Chris.
She had extra class.
No. We appreciate all you do. There are times when you are the only one who has the expertise for the job that needs to be done, and you're always willing to do it. Thank you. Per Reinhardt. You didn't head up a committee, but you do everything, and we know we can depend upon you for whatever we need. So, thank you.
Thanks.
June Reinhardt. I just tore it off, but you head up our grants committee, but just like her, you're always there, you're always doing everything. So we thank you so much. And you are one of the best dancers. Michael Williams.
No, we had extra class.
Oh.
If I had to write a recipe for the perfect faculty advisor for an interact group, it would be Michael Williams. I can't say how impressed I have been with you. And he's a pretty good auctioneer, too. Could I have the board members come forward, please? And our Sergeant at Arms, Peggy. I had to be able to give someone plaques because these are just beautiful. I want you all to know that the board is very hardworking, and anything that I do, they have approved, pretty much. Not exactly always, but they each make contributions to this club independent of their activity on the board. And I'm not going to try to list all of it, but you know them and you know what they do, so.
Oh.
There she is.
You're not my buddy.
Thank you. Okay, we are way ahead of time, so I eliminated some things from this meeting that I didn't need to, probably. But, it's okay. I have, some thank you notes to read. From the Warren County Extension staff, and they say, "Dear Rotary Club of Linden," we have to let them know who we are. Thank you for the $500 scholarship to the Warren County 4-H Junior Camp. We truly appreciate your support of the 4-H program. With dedicated supporters like you, an additional 8 to 10 children attend camp every year. Thanks again for your continued support. And from Sarah Chichester. Dear Warren County Rotary, thank you so much for supporting me and aiding me in my journey of higher education. Your scholarship will help me greatly. I hope to begin a Rotaract at Lord Fairfax and hope to make you all proud. One day I'll be a Rotarian, I promise. Sincerely. I love that. And from Colleen Tran, it was very nice meeting you at the Rotary meeting the other week. I am beyond grateful to you and the organization for selecting me as a recipient. I plan on using this scholarship to do great things. Thank you. So, a couple of announcements. We do have a board meeting coming up on June 26th. That's next Tuesday. Anyone who would like to attend is welcome, and it will be held at the Public Safety Building. And I want to remind you of the Rotary Polio Eradication Night, which is at the Shenandoah Valley Music Festival, and it's a Pops Orchestra, Beatles, Summer of Love program. It's $50 a ticket. If you haven't purchased tickets, you might want to consider it. The benefit is Rotary. Are there any other announcements? Kristen?
Is our board meeting on Monday or Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, it's on the calendar, it's 26, so it's 27.
Yes. Oh, did we change it to Monday? Because, yes, we changed it to Monday because Bill can't make Tuesdays. So it is correct on the 26th.
It is less Friday.
Yes. Yes, it's easy to confuse me. So are there any other announcements? We have Rob and Lynn are away on an anniversary vacation. Their anniversary is the 15th. Danny and Dom and Catherine's anniversary is the 18th. Nick and Barbara had an anniversary yesterday on the 20th. And Dave and Betsy Lavelle have an anniversary on the 25th. So if there's nothing else, let's do 50-50.
Today, we brought in $54, 37 went to the club. That made today's draw $13.50. Our pot is now up to $308. And we'll have our honorable guest from the front door.
Such a responsibility.
Just make so
606-294.
All right. I've done that for a while. Let Tallulah do this, she's better at it.
She is.
Well, you got lunch money.
But before we do the four-way test, I should have said that everyone needs to be here next week when we induct our new president, Carl Swilly. He's going to have a great year, and anyway. So be here for him. And Debbie, would you lead us in